All right. This is the Trey Watson with us. I was just saying before we started recording, you got what do you got there?
I got my Fresno State hoodie on. I represent.
Okay. Let's just talk about that then. All these crazy D1 offers started pouring in. It's like dominoes, right? Like one comes and like all of them start coming. And like really good schools. What was that decision like, man?
So it was hectic. I really had to weigh all my options and stuff. And then with COVID being here, I didn't really have the opportunity to wait for a senior season to see, how I would pan out my senior year. So a lot of it was relationships and just how I would fit in the offense of each team.
So it's Fresno too, and I mean, you had a couple other like Mountain West schools too. Like, of course, UNM is after you and stuff, and they offer you. Was there any lean towards like the hometown, or were you trying to just get out of New Mexico, do your own thing, or what was that?
So I always they were up there with when I was in the top 5 of my schools. I always kept them up there. I felt like I would have a great opportunity if I went there. It was just all the balls fell in the right place for Fresno State for me.
All right, so let's talk about this. You could hoop, man. You could hoop. They say maybe you're the best hooper in the state. Was there any thought of basketball next level?
There was. I did think about it, but I've always grown up saying, telling my parents, imagine what I could be if I'd only play one sport and just focus on one sport like all year round. So I feel like now that I have the opportunity and I have the correct like outlets, the coaches, the training and all that, I feel this would be the best time to focus on one sport and see where it goes.
So are you not playing? You wouldn't play basketball this year if you can?
I still would. In high school, I'll still play, yes.
And like, because basketball, you've been knocking on the door forever, right? Like you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are so close, but you just can't win that chip yet. And
Yes.
You've done it in football. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. I think this year we have a pretty good chance. We're a tight knit group this year. We've been playing together since like 7th grade. So I think this year we have a pretty good chance. We just got to make the best of it.
I want to go back to a couple things because you've been involved in a lot, man. There was a game a couple years ago where you're just starting to kill it, right? And it's Eldorado's like the best team in the state by far. This is basketball I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what game I'm talking about? Semifinals, at the buzzer, maybe a little after the buzzer. Trey Watson hits. What was that like?
Experience was unbelievable. It was I knew I had to step up because of the way I was playing. I kind of had to step up big. So I just, I played till the whistle goes, and to me, the shot went in. So
It did go in. It went in. Besides the controversy, I think I agree with you. I think confidence from that game on, it was like, here comes Trey. In football, it was similar too because it was your freshman year. I'll remember watching this play on Twitter or Facebook, and I think it was your freshman year. And I want to know if you remember this. I think it was like a 2-point conversion in Clovis, and you had this one-handed grab. And I think like ever since then, everyone's like, who is this kid? Like, who is this guy? And ever since then, it's like, okay, eyes on Trey Watson.
Mm-hmm. It might have been Artesia. Artesia was a touchdown. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Something like that. Like you probably remember better than me. But it was like, okay, everyone's like, wait a minute, and you're huge, and everyone's like, wait, he's a freshman? What are we talking about here?
Yes.
But you got to learn from some really good teams early. So what was it like playing with the talent at Cleveland High School? Because I call it Cleveland University. I don't even think it's a high school. I call it Cleveland University. What was it like playing with some of the talent when you were a young kid?
It was fun. I learned a lot. They kind of put me on their back, taught me the reins of Cleveland, how I'm supposed to work, what it's like. And really Justin Ainsworth was the guy I always looked up to. He was giving me rides to and from practice. So we really built a strong relationship. So I think he had a big part in how I adapted to the varsity lifestyle.
Let me ask you this. I don't think you like this comparison. Maybe you do. I don't know. I always compared you just because you're so talented from a young age, from freshman to senior. I always compared you to Marcus Williams, who's playing and doing good things right now. But he could, just because he played basketball and football and so dominant so early. Now, I know you guys are completely different athletes. Do you ever get that comparison a lot?
All the time. I think every game, I think I hear, oh, Marcus Williams, he looks like Marcus Williams.
Do you get sick of that? Like, I'm my own guy, like I'm Watson, you know?
I do at times, but, you know, to be compared to someone like Marcus, you know, he did a lot for Cleveland. He's doing a lot for the state of New Mexico. I think it's a good thing. And it's he's like a big brother to me. So, yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
So you go into this senior year, hopefully to be able to play. Like, I know you're dying to play. For one, because you guys are the defending champs. For two, you're returning so much talent. I talked to Troy the other day, Troy Ortega. I mean, he got all kinds of offers and is going to USD. You guys have like 5 D1 guys. Like, it's crazy. I haven't seen so much talent come back from a championship team. So you got to be itching to play again.
I am. We're excited. You know, we're taking advantage of the time we have now. We're going to live in the moment. So we're just going to work and grind until that opportunity does come. And when it comes, we're going to be as ready as we can be.
All right. So is there a favorite moment that you have, like favorite touchdown, favorite anything that you could think of directly that's your favorite sports moment so far?
Winning the state championship. The goal line stand in the state championship.
That was wild, huh?
It was the best. That was one of the best feelings. I think I was standing on the bleachers in the back to see over the rest of the team, and I just remember just going crazy.
It was such a fun game against your rival too, right?
Like, against our rival, yeah.
You had a nice touchdown in that one too. Like, you didn't have touchdowns in other games, but so this team. Oh, who are you working out with too? Is there anyone who's pushing you right now, getting you ready for the next level?
Chris Williams, from Rio Rancho, former Rio Rancho, the CFL player. I've been working with him a lot. We've been working on a lot of getting in and out of our routes, and he's been teaching me about the next level and coverages and just stuff like that. He
is so wise. So he did a lot of color commentating with me. Actually, we did the finals together, and he's smart beyond his talent. Like, the way he speaks of the game is so intelligently and probably one of the best guys you could learn from. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he's been a big help. I've been working out with him since 8th grade year. So it's been a continuous thing. And he always used to tell me, if you keep working, things are going to come for you. He was like, just trust me. He was like, I'm going to get you to the next level. He's like, we're going to do what we got to do. And here we are 5 years later.
So we have our favorite moments. What's your worst moment? What sticks in your head and you just go, man, it just drives you nuts?
Probably, I would say, getting blown out by La Cueva in the state championship the year before. I rolled my ankle that game pretty bad. I was like hobbling around the field. We were getting smacked. So it was one of those, like, dang, we put in all this work for this to happen.
Okay. I could see that. But you got revenge, right? I mean, like,
yes.
You won the – all right. All right, man. Hey, look, I appreciate you joining. Next level, you know we're rooting for you. But first, we want to see you do some big things, hopefully here in 2021, brother. So congratulations to you. Success, man.
Thank you.
All right. This is unprecedented, folks. We've got William Benjamin, head coach of Las Cruces, the state champ, with us. We've got Heath Ridenour, head coach of Cleveland football, the state champ, with us. I'm going to start with you, Heath. This is the reason why I got both you guys together, is because there's a lot of similarities maybe you guys don't know about. So William is a two-time head coach state champion. So are you. You guys are both the recent head coach state champs. Both of you in your respective sports have the highest win percentage in the last 7 years out of any other coach. So it's really impressive, and I thought it'd be cool if we all get together. So, Heath, like when you get success, I want to start with you as a successful program. How do you start building a successful program?
That's a loaded question right there.
It is.
But first, it starts with the administration giving you access to the kids and giving you what you need to be able to build a program that you envision. You got to have vision as a head coach. You got to know where you want to go. I don't think you can just throw a ball out there and just start getting to work. I think there's got to be certain things in place. For me, Coach Potter, before me, was able to put that plan in place with our administration, and Scott Affentranger just allowed me to continue on what was doing that. So I think that was the first step. For me, that was already in place. The second thing is you got to hire the right people to coach them. In football, we're dealing with so many kids. You got to have guys that believe in your program, that believe in your morals, your values, your philosophies, and then the ones that they're going to carry it out on the field, in the classroom, in the community. And I feel like I've got one of the best coaching staffs in the state. They believe in what we do. They believe in our kids, and they believe in our program, and they're part of our community. And, what's crazy is all of our coaches, except for one who Coach Mastriano owns an ironworks shop here in Rio Rancho. But every one of them is a teacher at Cleveland High School. Coach Kilmer was our defensive coordinator. He retired, but he still coaches. Everybody else is on campus coaching our kids, which I think is a huge, huge thing. Coming down from Clovis and Lovington, where I grew up and stuff, teachers, that's just what it was. It was just teachers were in the school. Those were the coaches. But when you come up here, contract coaches are a big thing. A lot of those coaches coming in from work and doing all that stuff, and that's tough on the kids. It's tough on your program. So having that many coaches on campus on a daily basis is big. And then, like I said, this is a loaded question. Consistency. Consistency is what you have to follow through with the kids, in my opinion. I think you got to have a plan. You got to stick to it. Even when the going gets tough, you got to stick to your plan. Your kids got to know that you believe in the plan. You believe in them. And what I tell our kids on Friday nights, I'm not scared to go for it on fourth down. I'm not scared to take a chance in a game. And the reason our kids are confident in that is we talk about it. I say, anytime you see me take a chance, I'm betting on you. I'm betting on you because I know what you've been through and I know who you are. And just putting the power of the program on the kids, because kids win games. Let's be honest about that. Kids win these games. Kids get championships. Coach and I get labeled the 2-time state champs and best winning percentage and all that. But at the end of the day, the kids are winning these games. The kids are getting it done. And that's kind of what we do. We put kids in a position to be successful.
All right. Well, William, do you want to kind of jump on that same type of question or what Heath had to say there about the way that you've kind of built a successful program as well?
Man, I think he said it. He said it all. It's pretty hard to follow that. I know for me, I was an assistant for 12, 13 years at Las Cruces High School. So I know that, he's right about having the right coaches in place. I know it's probably even more important with football because it's so, you have so many more kids and you got, DB coaches, offensive line coaches, so you really have to trust your coaches. And not only that, your coaches have to trust what it is that you're doing as far as philosophy wise. I know for me, when I first got the head coaching position, the first thing I wanted to build was a culture and an environment that I wanted to see as far as basketball wise. In Las Cruces is a different community where you're talking about it's kind of small, but we still have 4 different high schools. So I wanted to establish a culture and an environment of basketball that would be a positive one to where kids can actually get better. Sometimes we get players that think they're good, but thinking you're good and getting better is 2 different things. So I wanted to. That's one thing I really wanted to establish when I first became a head coach, and from there we were able to establish a level of consistency to where we can compete with the folks up north. And regardless if we win a state championship or not,
non-biased folks here up north.
Hey man, it is what it is. We know what it is when you're coming from Las Cruces or when you're coming from the east side. And I'm sure Coach will tell you that if he grew up in that Clovis, Lovington area, what it is. Right. Now he's over there at he's over there in Rio Rancho with you folks. But I still know that I bet you he got that just from talking from cats from Clovis and Hobbs and that side. They got that drive and they got that competitiveness to where yeah, they believe in you and we coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? And so you take that and you coaching at Rio Rancho with the level of talent that he gets and the way he's been around the game, it's only going to be something positive. So for me, I just want to establish a culture and an environment to where kids could get better. Got to have good assistants in place. It's been. I don't have coaches like he said on campus, which makes a hell of a lot of makes a world of difference. But because I don't have that many, I'm on campus and I don't have those kind of numbers that they have in football. But that's very important as well. I think for me, it's just a culture and an environment that you want to establish along with your philosophy. And because of that, I think the past, I don't know the numbers, what you said, past 7 years, whatever. We've just been consistent. I think we've been consistent. You have some hiccups, to where people say you should have won and you didn't, but it doesn't matter when you just have a competitive program. I think one of the best years I've had is a team that went 16-14. I think it was 2016. We went 16-14, and those kids gave me every bit of everything they had. And we had a competitive year. So I just think, and for me, it's mostly culture and environment and establishing that so where kids can get better.
I'll say this. Go ahead.
Backing on that real quick.
Yeah.
I think a lot of coaches, that they're so quick to want to draw out the X's and O's and create the next new big play or the next new offensive scheme or whatever, that they get lost and forget about that culture part. And I think that's huge. And I think you're going to win a whole lot more games with culture and tradition and something like that than you are with the next big play or whatever offensive, defensive scheme.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, coach, like he said, when you have because you can have a dynamite kid who has a hell of a lot of ability, hell of a lot of talent, but he doesn't want to give in to the culture and the environment that's been established. He wants to go against the grain, so I've lost players, that pretty good players, and I lost a very good player my first year, which taught me a lot. And as a head coach, that no one player is better than the culture and the environment that you're trying to set. And so that's what's most important to me.
Okay, so I love it, and I think you could see it, guys, and I think that's why that's why you both have been so successful in your programs. Is this day and age kid, a lot different to coach than say 10 years ago? Like I hear that a lot and I don't know where to go on this. Like some coaches I've heard say maybe this generation's a little bit less competitive. And I don't know what's true or what's not. Obviously I'm not in it like you guys. Do you guys see a big difference of how to reach kids now than maybe 10 years ago?
Go ahead, coach. You got it.
I think that's all about perspective. I think if you're stuck in your ways of coaching and the ways you do things, then yeah, as years go by, you're going to start getting some kickback and kids aren't going to respond as well, because in coaching, everything changes. The game changes, everything changes. And if you're not trying to stay up with that learning curve or maybe even stay ahead of that learning curve, you're going to feel some of that. You're going to feel like you don't relate to the kids and you don't understand what they're going through. So where you think your coaching is good and you're doing a great job, really all you're doing is butting heads with those kids because you don't understand them. And that's one of my big deals is chemistry and leadership, is just being in tune with our leaders, being in tune with our kids and knowing what they need, what they want, what they're interested in, what they like. And when they walk back in the door the next day, they're excited to do what we're going to do, because I'm doing things that are of interest to them. They want to come work hard because it's interesting to them. It's not just the way we've always done it. This is what's best for this group of kids right now.
William?
Yeah. I think kids are kids. I think a lot of times as adults or as coaches, it's us that's changed, not the kids. It goes back to that environment once again. A lot of times we hesitate to maybe tell the kids the truth sometimes because we figure that they are sensitive. I think as coaches sometimes, I think the coaches have changed. Sometimes you still need to hold kids accountable, whether it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or right now. The same accountability, especially when you're talking sports, I think is the same. I mean, a 15-foot jump shot from a kid is still the same that it was 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Either you can make it or you can't. Good shot, bad shot. Are you telling me good shots are different now and bad shots are different now than they were 10, 15 years ago? I don't think so. I think it's more I think the kids are the kids. How we handle the kids as coaches and as adults is different. I mean, kids are, you're still going, you're gonna have kids that don't get it. You're gonna have kids that you butt heads with. I think you're supposed to butt heads with teenagers. They think, I tell my son all the time, man, you just got on this planet. What the hell you know? You know what I mean? Like, I think I know maybe. I feel like right now I think I might know 15 to 20% of the game of basketball, and I've been around it for over 30, 40 years. And these kids they don't even know 10% of what it is they need to know when you start talking about fundamentals, positioning, footwork. Like, there's so many aspects of all the sports that these kids don't know about. So I think it's more on us than it is on the kids. I think kids are going to be kids. I think it's more on how we deal with them, hold them accountable. We might have to approach it a different way than you could 20 years ago, but it's still all the same, because I do think these kids are a little bit more sensitive to being called out, so to speak.
I think you got to teach them how to be competitive a little bit.
So that's what my next thing was. I was going to bring that up, Coach. And Heath, I'll let you go on that. Competitiveness. What I know about both of you guys, and I can consider you guys friends like off the field and off the court now, and just by talking with you guys kind of away from, like a professional aspect, the first thing I notice about both of you are you're both very competitive. Both have been very successful in your sports from a playing aspect and then now a coaching aspect. And so I think that's important. I myself am super competitive. I think just in general, if you're going to be successful, competition is so big, and being competitive and teaching your kids competitive. Like, what do you guys do, I guess, and I'll start with Heath, like as far as keeping your kids that competitive edge? Like, how do you translate your competitiveness to these kids?
Man, you hear the old saying that players are going to take on the image or the persona of the head coach, and I do believe that to an extent. I really do. You talk as coaches, we talk and talk and talk and talk at kids trying to get through their thick skull, because they are tough to get through to. But at the end of the day, some of that stuff's going to sink in. They are going to start to take on your image, your likeness. And so in doing that, being cognizant of that and being aware of that, you want to be sure you lay out the correct image, the thing you want them to be, the thing you want them to see. So ours is all built into the off season. Our January to May stuff that we do is all about building team chemistry, building leadership, and creating a competitive atmosphere in everything that we do, be it in the weight room, be it on the field, be it in the classroom, whatever it may be. And we create some ridiculously, they have everything to do with football. They have everything to do with sports, with life. But I mean, you're talking about, we'll throw a bag of sand. It's like a 30-pound bag of sand in a sand pit at Cleveland High School. And we tell two kids, get in there. You got to get it this way. You got to get it that way. Don't bite. Don't gouge eyes. Go. And you just learn to compete. That doesn't matter. That sandbag don't matter on Friday night. That sandbag doesn't matter in the classroom. But just the fact that there's an opportunity to compete, when you get to be our age, you guys know this, you just want an opportunity to compete where maybe your body's not going to fail you, where you can actually get out there and do something. A pool. Like your mind says you can still do it.
Nice game of chess doesn't hurt, Coach.
There you go. But trying to get through to these kids that the opportunity to compete is one day going to leave, and it's not going to be there anymore. So when you get that chance, we tell our kids, somebody's going to put that ball on the ground. They're going to blow a whistle. Somebody's going to put that ball on that tee, and somebody's going to kick it off. Something's going to happen. You're going to be the hammer, you're going to be the nail. So I think it's very much culture based, but you got to put kids constantly in an environment of competition. Everything in our weight room is a competition. There's not just you got 3 sets of 5. No, your partner did 3 sets of 5, and he got 6 on his last set. Let's see, go ahead, get 7. Let's see you get it. You have to create that. You have to have guys that are constantly competing. And I tell our guys all the time, I said, the guy next to you doesn't have to know you're competing. Just you see what he does, and mentally to yourself, I'm going to beat you. I'm gonna beat you. And you start creating that thought process, and before you know it, you're fighting on a goal line stand in the state championship game, 4 downs inside the 1, and you find out I got some competitors.
Right. You know, just to piggyback on you, Coach, football does such an amazing job with that. You know, I put my son in football this past month, just for the competitive aspect of it. You know, you guys compete in every drill, and you guys really come together as a family. And I remember there was a kid out there who probably shouldn't have been out there with football. My son was telling me, but the competitiveness, the confidence, the fellowship, the family that you guys bring with football is totally different than any other sport. And so the kid might not ever play it down, but he's out there doing the drills. He's out there working like everybody else. He's developing relationships with quarterbacks, with receivers, people that he probably wouldn't even talk to in the hall. And football does an amazing job with that. Football does an amazing job with that. So I wanted my son to be around something competitive with everything that's going on right now. So he's out there with the football team right now, doing all the drills and learning that, like you said, they line up and you guys are running 40s. Well, that's a competition. You do those drills with the I don't know. Hell, I don't play football. I played football, coach, until I got hit. And my friends didn't have to hit me that hard either, man. All you saw was socks, snot, and arms and legs go up in the air along with the football, man. I immediately walked right off the field, no hard feelings, and went straight to the gym. But the competitiveness is something else. It's very hard for me to simulate that in basketball. You know, when we lift weights, it doesn't have the same energy that football does. I bet
like shooting drills and whenever you're, you know, going one-on-one competitions, I'm sure
Yeah, we do that, but I always look at that as basketball. It's not. Football's different. Football's totally different. It's totally different. I do. You know, there's working hard and then there's competing. You know, we want our kids to compete every day. I'm going to get you to work hard. You know, if I put you on the line, you're going to work hard. But you don't get kids. You know, if I have 10 kids on varsity, if I can find 3 that can really get after it, I'm lucky. Like, it's competing is something totally different. It's something totally different. You know, I can't make my 6'9" kid understand that he has to compete against my 6'2" kid as far as being able to move his feet and stand in front of him. He's going to figure, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's like, it's totally different. We do it in basketball, and I try and make it as competitive as possible, especially when you start talking about box out drills and one-on-one, like you say, full court. And I try and pair my team up as far as making it balanced as far as when we're getting after it 5-on-5. But I think football is something totally different as far as when you start talking about teaching kids how to compete. I mean, Coach just said he just threw a bag of sand in a pit, and you go that way, you go this way, you know. But I try and do that, but it's hard at times. It's hard. I can honestly say it's hard at times for me to get my kids to understand the importance of competing.
I think one of the best lines we teach our kids that they kind of take pride in now is you need to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That when things hurt, you're hurting, it's not going your way, you're comfortable with that because you've been through it so much. You've been in the ringer so much. Practice is way worse than what I'm going through right now. I can handle this. Right. I'm good to go. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's something that's not easily taught. It's not something that's easily adapted by the kids. But once they do decide I'm going to be comfortable being uncomfortable, you got a competitor right there.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take you guys a whole day, so I said it was going to be short and sweet. I thought it was,
hey, man, it's COVID-19, baby. We ain't got nothing to do, man.
I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking.
COVID-19, I ain't got nowhere to go.
The one thing I wanted to say is I jokingly said to Heath that I'd do a throwing competition with him because, you know, he's some quarterback whisperer or whatever, you know. So I feel like I still would win that, coach, as a soccer player even. And then I told Coach William Benjamin one-on-one hoops, I'll probably win that too. So I just want to let you guys know I firmly believe in what I'm saying.
My ass. Not me, baby. I got one good game left. I'm saving it for you, man.
Heath, what do you
I got one.
Hey, Heath, you could play a little hoops too, right?
I've played a little basketball. I'll gladly put whatever your contract with Sports Primo is on the line and go with that throwing competition if you want to.
Hey, man, I got one good game left. You better off playing me horse. You better off playing horse, baby.
I think I'm talking a little bit too much here. I think I'm running my mouth a little bit too much. Look, guys, I appreciate you, both of you. You guys have been good to me professionally, and I respect you guys on and off the field and court. So much love, and hopefully we can get back to some sports here, huh?
Shoot, I don't know, man. This is.
I
don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say the wrong thing, man. I agree.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble. I just said,
man,
hopefully
I just wish we would try, man. I just wish we would try. You know, we try, it doesn't work, then we say we try. You know, that's all. Let's just try. You know, other states are trying. Let's just try, man. That's all. Let's just try.
It's amazing how many coaches have done amazing things with some teams across the state for years and years and years and years. Give them the opportunity to do something amazing right now. You know, tell me those coaches aren't going to follow the rules. Man, the coaches that I know, they're going to do everything in their power to keep these kids safe, to do things the right way.
Well, I think the coaches are like people are thinking that it's not going to be so safe. Coaches are the best people at following rules and making sure things are safe, right? Like that's like the best example you could want, leading something that's going to be safe.
You know, with everything that's going on, I mean, what's safe right now? I mean, you know, you can go out, you know, you can go to Walmart and catch it. You know, you can go what's safe? I mean, we're talking about making sure kids are practicing all the safety measures that are in place if they're with us. I think so. One thing that one situation I think is interesting is that a lot of people are leaving out of state to go participate in whether it's AAU events, whether it's club events. Yeah, I see you looking around, whether it's club events and all that. But if the kids are with us, with their high school coaches, that cuts all that eliminates all that traveling. It stops kids because now they're focused on their high school sport. You won't have a two-sport player who plays football and basketball or baseball going out of state.
Or even just going out and getting in trouble with your friends, right? Like, you know they're going to be at practice every day, every afternoon.
They're going to be with us.
What are these kids doing when they're not? That's
my point, man. You know, the kids will be with us. A kid who plays football for Cleveland, even though he might play baseball, he's going to be with his football team. You know, if I have a kid, I don't care if it's a freshman. If I have a 25 sport freshman, like they all come in and try to play. if I got a kid playing every single sport and we're in basketball, he's going to be with that sport that's in season. You know, so I mean, it eliminates a lot of travel, and I think it would eliminate a lot of some of this putting yourself at risk, so to speak, you know. So I don't know, man. I just say we need to try, man.
Let me ask you this. This vaccine's going to come out. Your at-risk population, your frontline workers are going to get that vaccine. I mean, does that not give us a green light to try this? Because
I hope so.
We've had those at risk. At some point, you got to step back out of your shell and you got to try this thing called life again. At some point, we still.
You know, but Coach, when you say stuff like that, you know, it makes. You know, people want to say that you're insensitive when you say we need to start living life or step out of your shell or whatever, man. And that's not even the case, man. That's not even the case. Like, I know I take this thing serious. I know everyone I've been around, they're taking it still serious, but damn, man, to say that we can't that we can't function is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, we're losing kids. Just academically, we're losing kids that were A students or struggling with online.
Falling behind. It's tough. I'm going to leave it at this because I want to make sure we all are going to be cool. I agree with you guys. I also agree, William, that what you just said is sometimes you can't even come out and say step out of your shell. It's insensitive. I don't think people understand. Like we as individuals and grownups are trying to make sure that our youth is taken care of. And so I don't think that's insensitive at all, looking out.
I say my shell. I'm talking about my house. I haven't left my house.
Right. I totally get it. But, you know, I said that. You know, I guess I said it in the wrong place and in the wrong space, and somebody heard me, and they looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, I'm like, no, man. I'm like, no, I'm not putting sports ahead of life. But we
That's
still
why
have
I
to
say
live
when the
life.
vaccine gets here, you've protected your at-risk people, and you've protected the frontline workers, which is huge right now because they're out there fighting this thing, and it is piling up. Those hospitals are getting crazy, and I think playing right now it's really not realistic. In the month of November, in the month of December, it's not realistic because we are putting some frontline workers and those at-risk people. It's going to get home somehow. But when those people are protected, when they have that vaccine, now I think you go back to what this country is based on, the right to choose. If you're not comfortable, by all means stay home, protect yourself. But I think these kids have a right to choose too.
Well, hey guys, it's all
Coach.
love.
Well said, Coach.
I got a lot out of it. Both of you guys did a lot of cool things today. I think it's a little bit unique too. I mean, having you two be able to chat and have some fun. So again, I appreciate you guys, respect you guys, and look forward to hopefully working with you all here soon. Okay, guys?
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate you, Adam.
You guys have happy holidays, man.
You too, brother. William Benjamin, Heath Ridenour. Stay strong, guys. We'll see you.